I was recently looking into the reality of lasting wealth, and you know what's fascinating? It turns out the retirees who literally never run out of money, the ones sitting there comfortably at 85 with zero financial stress, totally debt-free, they didn't necessarily earn way more than the rest of us during their careers. Actually, scratch that. It's not about their income at all. Instead, they all did this one quiet, incredibly disciplined thing. They stopped buying.
$823,000. According to a 2026 Clever Real Estate study, that is the average amount retirees in the US believe they need to have sitting in savings and investments just to retire comfortably.
But contrast that massive goal with the harsh reality we're looking at now. Only 23% of retirees actually have $500,000 or more saved. Think about that for a second. That means nearly 8 out of 10 people don't even reach half of what they themselves say they need. So why is there such a huge gap? Well, it's because our so-called normal spending habits are quietly, secretly destroying our wealth. So we're going to map out exactly what that successful 23% completely stopped buying.
We're breaking this down into 3 major traps. Trap 1, the big ticket illusions.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the brutal math of it all. These are the large, standard purchases society basically tells us are just part of being a functioning adult. But look at this car depreciation. According to Kelley Blue Book data and an analysis of nearly 1 million used vehicles, a brand new car loses 20% of its value in the first year alone. If you go out and buy a $45,000 car today, in just 2 years, it's worth roughly $30,000. You literally just watched $15,000 vanish into thin air. Depreciation is for sure the single biggest cost of car ownership. Wealthy retirees, they don't play this game. They're buying 2- or 3-year-old certified pre-owned cars and happily letting someone else take that massive initial hit.
And, you know, brand new cars aren't the only big-ticket illusion out there. Consider extended warranties. Retailers push these things so aggressively because they keep 50% or more of the cost. And the data? It shows only 1 in 10 people ever actually use them. Smart savers just build their own repair fund and keep the cash. Then there's the house. You might think being wealthy means buying a massive mansion, right? Well, 60% of millionaires actually live in homes worth less than $500,000. Why? Because the biggest house on the block just brings higher taxes, endless maintenance, and skyrocketing insurance premiums. And speaking of insurance, overpaying for duplicate coverage instead of just raising your deductibles is another absolute wealth destroyer.
Which brings us to Trap 2, the invisible daily drip.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. If those big-ticket items are the heavy blows to your wealth, the daily drip is the slow, silent leak. These small habits just compound over time. With food prices up over 18% since 2022, buying a $15 fast food lunch instead of a $5 meal made at home means you're basically losing $10 a day. Over 10 years, thanks to compound interest, that $10 a day difference turns into a $50,000 loss. That is huge! When wealthy retirees look at a lunch menu, they're seeing those compound numbers. They aren't just seeing the convenience of the moment.
Then we have what I like to call ghost subscriptions. You know, those services you pay for every month but haven't actually used in ages. Research shows we underestimate our subscription spending by 2.5 times. Or how about the daily coffee shop habit? That's draining over $1,500 a year. But honestly, the most brutal daily drip? Lottery tickets. The lowest income households spend an average of $412 a year on them. If you invested that annually at a 7% return over 30 years, it becomes over $41,000. Wealthy retirees are betting on compound interest, not a 1 in 292 million chance of striking it rich.
Moving right along to Trap 3, the cost of ego. Now, this trap is purely psychological. It's that incredibly expensive, desperate need to impress people who, quite frankly, probably don't even care. We're talking about paying a premium purely for the label on designer clothes or luxury pet accessories. I mean, come on, your dog literally cannot read the designer logo on its $300 bat, right? And get this, if you just wait 3 or 4 years to upgrade your phone instead of buying the brand new one every single year, you save a difference of $13,000 over 20 years. Upgrading perfectly good tech just to look trendy is a trap entirely designed to make you look rich rather than actually being rich.
So let's look at a real-world example. The tale of 2 savers, Daniel versus Alex.
Let's move to this comparison and see how this all builds up. Meet Daniel and Alex. They are both 58 years old, both are managers, and they both earn an identical salary of $85,000. But their realities couldn't be further apart. Daniel decided 10 years ago to cut out all that invisible spending we just talked about. He drives a used car, pays for exactly 1 streaming service, cooks at home, and uses his phone until it literally dies.
Alex, on the other hand, lives what he considers a completely normal life. He's got a brand new SUV on credit, 4 streaming services, eats out daily, and does those yearly phone upgrades. To Alex, none of this is reckless. It's just standard everyday life.
But because of those quote-unquote normal choices, Alex spends about $7,000 more a year than Daniel. Look at the result after 20 years. Daniel's portfolio sits at an impressive $620,000. Alex, he has less than $95,000 saved, despite needing around $800,000 for retirement. It's wild to realize the difference isn't their income at all, not even a little bit. The difference is entirely built by what Daniel decided to stop buying. Normal in this country means reaching retirement without enough money. Daniel just realized that normal wasn't good enough.
And that brings us to the mindset shift. Strategic versus cheap.
So the crucial point is, emulating someone like Daniel requires a very specific shift in how you think, but it absolutely isn't about living some miserable, deprived life. It's the core difference between being cheap and being strategic. A cheap person simply refuses to spend money on anything, right? A strategic person spends intentionally on what truly matters to them, and they ruthlessly cut everything else. They might splurge on an amazing vacation, but they will flat out refuse to pay for a Ghost subscription or a gym membership they haven't set foot in for 6 months.
George S. Clason, in his classic book, The Richest Man in Babylon, wrote something that just beautifully captures everything we've talked about today. He said, "Wealth grows when you take care of it, and it disappears when you ignore it." So many people ignore their wealth, and it's not because they are foolish. It's just because they are way too distracted by looking rich to actually build the invisible habits of the truly wealthy.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Which 3 things will you cut out this week? Not next month, not as a New Year's resolution next year. Look closely at your bank statements today. Find those invisible drains, whether it's an unused subscription, a daily takeout habit, or the urge to go upgrade perfectly good tech. Remember, every single day you wait is a day you hand your future wealth over to someone else. Make the strategic choice today, eliminate the illusions, and start actually taking care of your wealth. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.